Greetings, adventurers. This is Kazu of the Wormforge, and today we're going to be talking about all things dice as I go over all of my dice sets and also provide some recommendations on what dice brands to check out if you want a budget, medium, or even high-end set of dice to use for ttrpgs or any sort of games. I made a video earlier on the URwizards dice. It was just a short little review, but a lot of you guys liked it, and I figured I may as well share my passion for being a dice goblin by showing off some of these sets and hopefully giving you guys some recommendations so that you can get your own awesome dice as well. And so we're going to start off with budget dice. If you're someone who's new to TTRPGs and wants to get their first dice set, or if you're just someone who loves the classic feel of resin dice, this is the one to go with. So this was, again, provided to me by the folks at Paladin Roleplaying. You can check them out on Amazon. Links will be in the description for this store as well as all the others that I'm going to mention in the video. But this is just a classic set of purple dice with a yellow font. We'll give this a little bit of a test roll, see what our D20 does. Oh my goodness, look at that. Just look at that. A nat 20 on our first row. Absolutely beautiful. This is a very affordable set of dice. You can pick up most of their dice sets for about $10, and you can actually find some of them on sale for less than $5, which is an absolute steal. So if you need a classic set of dice like this, if you're just someone from the 90s who just loves the feel of the classic beveled resin dice, then they're definitely going to be a store to check out. So make sure to give them a look. And then let's talk about mid-range dice sets. So there are sharp-edged resin dice, which you can find on Amazon a lot of. For the most part, you can check out the store D&D&D, literally D&D&D. It's a strange name, I know, but they sell a lot of pretty good sharp-edged dice sets. There is also this brand called Sfizzo, which unfortunately I think all of their stock is out on Amazon right now, so maybe just check out D&D&D. We also have metal dice for the mid-range. These are usually going to be, these resin dice as well as these metal dice are usually going to be between $20 and $30. Definitely the metal ones will be on the more expensive side, but you actually can pick up a set of metal dice from Paladin Roleplaying as well, so you can check that out. These have a lot of heft to them. This is a metal die, and you can hear by the sound of it, it's quite different from your regular resin die. These things, they could be used as improvised weapons if you really want. They'd have a 1d4 damage die, and the actual 1d4 itself, this thing is a caltrop. Do not step on this. It is very dangerous. But here we have a different array of very sharp-edged dice. A lot of these are going to be, again, in that mid-range price, anywhere between $20 to $30. They can even get more expensive, $40, $50 sets. We have liquid core dice here. Inside the middle, it actually moves around. It has a liquid core. Those are a lot of fun. Do like those a lot. Next up is going to be the high-end price range, and this is where things get a little crazy. We're going to be talking about gemstone dice. This is from Norse Foundry. You can tell it's Norse Foundry because it's got these little Norse font letters that I adore, and this is a labradorite dice. It is very, very nice, and it's sharp edge, and you can probably tell already, but all of the ends for this dice, they are chipped. So it was about $90, I believe, back in like 2020 when I bought this dice set. But basically, you got to be real careful with gemstone dice because these things, they are very delicate. If you don't roll them in a dice tray, if they fall on a hard surface, they're going to wind up like this 1d4 here, which fell from about waist height onto concrete flooring, and it shattered on two ends. So do make sure to use a nice dice tray, and that way your edges aren't going to get scuffed and you're not going to have any damage to these dice. They are very expensive. They're also very, very nice. They look great, and they have kind of that medium balance between the weight of a metal die and a resin die. So I actually really like the feel of gemstone die in my hand, especially the labradorite dice. If you want a little bit cheaper ones, we do have some opalite dice as well. This is from Crystal Maggie. a little bit hard to open up this case. This is going to be a dice set from Crystal Maggie. These are opalite. Glass and opalite are going to be a cheaper material. They're definitely not as fancy as the gemstone ones, but they're still really nice. And you can see this one is very finely engraved. I will say, if you get ones that have fancy engravings like this, the readability factor, the legibility to read these numbers might be a lot harder. I actually had to color in all of the numbers here because it was so difficult to read this dice under the light. You can kind of tell that from a distance, if this was gold, it would be very difficult to read. So do keep that in mind. You want the readability, the legibility of those dice to be good. And then, of course, we have premium resin dice. These are going to be the multi-faceted dice that are from URwizards, which I've already made a video reviewing. You can see here the edges, they are multifaceted. They're beveled in a fine star shape, and they're absolutely gorgeous. These were $60, so definitely not cheap, but hey, you pay for what you get, and the quality on these is absolutely immaculate. So I do think it's worth it, but again, these are going to be mostly outside of the usual person's price range, unless you're going to save up for a very fancy set that you want to use in a character that you have a very special connection to. I recommend saving your money for other things. Now, additionally to all these sets, we have some specialty die. This is going to be the Chonk die. You can get this on Amazon. I forget the name of the seller, but I'm going to leave a link in the description so that you guys can pick it up. I think it's like Poludie or something like that. And this is a 55mm dice. It is absolutely massive. You can tell compared to my hand. It fits in pretty snug. This is about 2.7 inches across. I believe that's 55mm. And I use this for all sorts of important dice rolls. You know, you've watched Dimension 20. Whenever they pull up the box of Doom, you're going to make a roll that's going to take down the big bad, or it's going to be that death save on your ally to see whether or not they live or die. This is where you take out the huge Chonk die. And you're going to want some space for this because this thing is freaking hefty. It's about 1/4 pound, and it is a little bit harder to roll because of how massive this dice is. But this will definitely be the showstopper that'll bring all of the attention of everyone else at the table when something dramatic is going to happen. So big fan of this dice. And then another dice, this was about $25, I believe. This dice is by a dice maker named Transmutation Dice on Etsy. I'll leave a link to that as well. If you want a very premium D20, this is a Chonk D20, I think it's 30mm. You're not going to find a more unique dice seller than Transmutation Dice. So they've got some really crazy designs. Some people are not a fan of the numbers being on the bottom right corner, but I actually personally like it a lot. And this dice is liquid core. It's a liquid core Chonk die with a lightning mark going through it. It's just magical to me. I really do adore this dice. It was really expensive though. It was $90. Definitely outside of most people's price ranges. So again, only get this if you have the money to afford it. Otherwise, stick with the basics. There is nothing wrong with a dice set like this from Paladin Roleplaying. It's got a great feel to it, and it's going to get the job done, which at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun playing TTRPGs, that's really all that matters. But if you are a dice goblin like me, and you want to look at your options and see what you got, I hope this video is going to be helpful for you. So that's pretty much going to be it. Those are all the options I have at my disposal to share with you guys. I guess I didn't open up this. This is going to be a set of blue opalite dice. That is from, I also think this is from URwizards or Crystal Maggie, one of the two. Opalite dice, again, very nice. The engravings make the font very small though, I will say. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.